Taylor Swift had no idea what was coming. She had spent the day believing Travis Kelce was too busy to celebrate. After all, football season had kept him on a tight schedule, and she understood that better than anyone. So when he texted her in the afternoon, saying he'd be caught up with commitments, she didn't think much of it. What she didn't know was that Travis was orchestrating something huge. Hours before Taylor even suspected anything, the wheels were already in motion. The private venue had been transformed into a romantic wonderland, one that would make headlines the next morning. As Taylor wrapped up her studio session, she stepped outside, expecting her usual car service. But instead of her standard black SUV, a sleek Rolls-Royce Phantom awaited her, complete with a driver in a sharp tuxedo. Her brows furrowed as she glanced at her assistant. "Did I forget about an event?" Her assistant just smiled. "Not quite. Just enjoy the ride." Intrigued, Taylor slid into the luxurious interior, the soft hum of the engine barely noticeable as the driver pulled away. That's when she noticed the envelope on the seat beside her. Her name was written in Travis's bold, familiar handwriting. She opened it, unfolding a handwritten note. No stadium lights, no roaring crowds, just you, me, and a night you'll never forget. See you soon. A small smile played on her lips. Whatever this was, Travis had put thought into it. The car took her through the glowing streets of Kansas City before stopping in front of an exclusive, candlelit venue. Before she could even process where she was, the doors opened, and she stepped into another world. Roses, thousands of them, lined the entrance. A soft melody played in the background, instantly familiar. It was their song. And as she stepped inside, the sight before her took her breath away. Because standing there, waiting with that signature smirk, was Travis Kelce, dressed to perfection, holding a single red rose. "Happy Valentine's Day, Tay," he said, his voice warm. And this? This was only the beginning of a night that would cost $100,000, but feel absolutely priceless. Taylor Swift stood at the entrance, momentarily speechless. The flickering candlelight cast a warm glow over the grand space, and the scent of fresh roses filled the air. It was breathtaking. And at the center of it all stood Travis Kelce, dressed in a sharp, tailored navy suit, his signature smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. "You look surprised," he said, taking a step toward her. Taylor let out a soft laugh, shaking her head. "I am surprised. I thought you had commitments today." Travis grinned. "I do, and you're looking at it." Before she could say anything else, he gently took her hand, guiding her inside. The venue had been transformed into something straight out of a dream. Golden fairy lights twinkled overhead. A custom-built floral arch framed the intimate dining area, and in the center of the room, a small live orchestra played a familiar tune. Her heart swelled as she recognized the melody. "Is that Lover?" she asked, her voice laced with emotion. Travis chuckled. "Only the acoustic version. Thought it might set the mood." Taylor gave his hand a squeeze, her blue eyes glimmering with admiration. "You really outdid yourself." As they walked toward the dining setup, Taylor noticed that everything was curated with her in mind. The menu, handwritten on elegant stationery, featured her favorite dishes. The champagne flutes were engraved with their initials. Even the floral arrangements were filled with peonies and white roses, her favorites. Travis pulled out her chair like a true gentleman, motioning for her to sit. "Before we eat, there's one more thing," he said, reaching into his jacket pocket. Taylor's brows raised in curiosity as he pulled out a small, velvet box. Her breath hitched. "Relax, it's not a ring. Yet," Travis teased, winking. She let out a relieved laugh, playfully swatting his arm. He opened the box, revealing a delicate, one-of-a-kind bracelet. A sleek gold chain with a charm shaped like an arrow. "Custom made," he said softly, Because you're my lucky arrow, the one that led me right where I needed to be." Taylor's lips parted in surprise, her eyes misting over. And just like that, the night had only just begun, and the best was yet to come. Taylor Swift traced her fingers over the delicate gold bracelet, her heart swelling with emotion. The arrow-shaped charm wasn't just beautiful, it was meaningful. "You always know how to make me speechless," she said, looking up at Travis with a soft smile. Travis shrugged playfully. "I figured if anyone deserves a Valentine's Day fit for a queen, it's you." As Taylor admired the gift, Travis leaned in, his voice dropping to a teasing whisper. "And just so you know, that was only surprise number one." Taylor raised an eyebrow. "There's more?" Travis grinned. "Oh, sweetheart, we're just getting started." Just then, the soft melody playing in the background faded, replaced by a different tune, one that instantly made Taylor's breath catch. "Wait, is that—" She trailed off, eyes widening. Before she could finish, a familiar voice filled the room. "Ladies and gentlemen, happy Valentine's Day to the most iconic couple in the game." Taylor turned just in time to see Ed Sheeran step out from behind the floral arch, an acoustic guitar in hand, a mischievous smile on his face. She gasped, hands flying to her mouth. "Ed? Are you kidding me?" Ed laughed. "What can I say? When Travis calls, I listen." Taylor turned to Travis, her expression one of pure astonishment. "You flew Ed in for this?" Travis chuckled. "Technically, he was already in town, but I may have convinced him to stick around a little longer." Ed strummed the first few chords of Perfect, one of Taylor's all-time favorite songs. The intimate venue suddenly felt even cozier, the atmosphere charged with warmth and nostalgia. Taylor shook her head in disbelief. "I can't believe you pulled this off." Travis winked. "For you? I'd pull off anything." Ed flashed a grin. "You two lovebirds enjoy. This one's for you." As the first verse of Perfect drifted through the room, Travis stood and extended his hand. "Dance with me?" Taylor's eyes glistened as she took his hand. "Always." And as they swayed under the twinkling fairy lights, with Ed Sheeran's voice serenading them, it became clear. This was a night Taylor would never forget. But the surprises? Far from over. With Ed Sheeran's voice floating through the air, Taylor Swift placed her hand in Travis Kelce's, letting him lead her to the center of the candlelit space. The moment felt surreal. Just the two of them, swaying under golden fairy lights, with one of their closest friends serenading them. Travis pulled her close, his touch warm and protective. "You know, I've never been much of a dancer," he murmured, grinning. Taylor chuckled, resting her head lightly against his chest. "I think you're doing just fine." The soft notes of Perfect wrapped around them as they moved in slow, effortless steps. There were no cameras, no flashing lights, no crowds, just them. "I wanted tonight to feel different," Travis admitted after a beat. "No distractions, no headlines, just us." Taylor looked up at him, her eyes glistening. "And that's exactly what you gave me." As they continued their slow dance, she caught Ed Sheeran watching them with a knowing smile, never missing a chord on his guitar. "I feel like this is one of those moments," Taylor said softly. "One of the ones we'll talk about years from now and say, 'Remember that night?'" Travis grinned. "Oh, I'm making sure of it." As the song neared its final chorus, Travis leaned down and whispered something in her ear that made her eyes widen. "What?" she asked, pulling back slightly to study his face. He smirked. "Told you, I've got more surprises." Just then, the doors to the venue slowly swung open, and Taylor's jaw dropped. Outside, waiting beneath a sky full of stars, a luxury yacht was docked just for them, glowing under soft golden lights. She gasped. "No way!" Travis chuckled. "Way!" Ed Sheeran strummed the final chord. winking at Travis. "All right, lovebirds. I think it's time for your next adventure." Taylor turned back to Travis, shaking her head in disbelief. "You're actually insane, you know that?" Travis shrugged, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "Only for you, Tay." And as they walked hand in hand toward the yacht, Taylor realized this wasn't just a date. This was a fairy tale. And the night was far from over. Taylor Swift couldn't stop smiling as she stepped onto the private yacht, her hand still clasped in Travis Kelce's. The night air was cool but refreshing, the gentle sway of the water adding to the dreamlike quality of it all. Soft golden lights lined the yacht's deck, casting a warm glow over the entire setup. "You actually got a yacht?" she asked, laughing in disbelief. Travis smirked. "You didn't think I was going to stop at dinner, did you?" Taylor shook her head. "Honestly, I have no idea what to expect at this point." He chuckled. "Good, that's the plan." A waiter in a crisp white uniform appeared, offering them glasses of chilled champagne. Taylor took hers, eyes flickering toward the small, intimate dining setup at the front of the yacht. A round table, set for two, overlooked the shimmering water, complete with fresh roses, candles, and a menu crafted just for her. "Okay, this is ridiculous," Taylor said, turning to him. "In the best way possible." Travis clinked his glass against hers. "Only the best for you." They sat down, and Taylor glanced at the menu, instantly recognizing some of her favorites: lobster ravioli, truffle risotto, and chocolate soufflé for dessert. "You actually remembered all of this?" she asked, touched by the thoughtfulness. Travis shrugged. "What kind of boyfriend would I be if I didn't?" Taylor grinned, shaking her head. "A normal one, but lucky for me, you're not normal." As they enjoyed their meal, the yacht began to slowly drift along the water, the view of the city skyline glowing in the distance. The atmosphere was perfect, peaceful, intimate, and entirely their own. Then, just as Taylor thought the night couldn't get any better, Travis set down his fork, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "So, you remember when I said I had more surprises?" he asked. Taylor narrowed her eyes. "What now? Did you rent an island?" Travis laughed. "No, but that's a good idea for next time." He stood, holding out his hand. "Come with me. The best part is still ahead." Taylor took his hand, heart pounding with excitement. Because whatever Travis had planned next, it was bound to be unforgettable. Taylor Swift placed her hand in Travis Kelce's as he led her to the upper deck of the yacht. The anticipation buzzed in the air. The night had already been magical. A private venue, Ed Sheeran's surprise performance, and now a yacht cruising under the stars. What more could he possibly have planned? "Travis, you've already done too much," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Travis grinned. "Oh, I'm just getting started." As they reached the top deck, Taylor gasped. The entire space had been transformed into a private movie theater under the stars. Plush seating, cozy blankets, and a massive screen faced the open sky, twinkling with city lights in the distance. Soft fairy lights surrounded the deck, casting a warm, intimate glow. And then she saw it. The screen flickered to life, playing a montage of their best moments together. Their first public appearance, their late-night car rides, clips from football games where she cheered him on, her arms in the air. Moments of them caught off guard, laughing, goofing around, stealing glances when they thought no one was watching. Taylor's hand flew to her chest. "Oh my God, Travis." Travis wrapped an arm around her, pulling her close. "I know you capture the world with your music, but I wanted to capture us." Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. "This is the most thoughtful thing anyone has ever done for me." The final clip on the screen showed them walking hand in hand after one of his games, Taylor looking up at him with pure admiration. Then, in bold letters, the words appeared. Our story is only just beginning." Taylor turned to Travis, speechless. He chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck. "Okay, I was going to say something super romantic, but now I'm nervous." She laughed, wiping a tear from her cheek. "Just say it." Travis cupped her face gently. "I love you, Tay." Taylor's breath hitched, but she didn't hesitate. "I love you too." The city lights shimmered around them, the yacht rocking gently beneath the open sky. And in that moment it didn't matter how much the night had cost, because what they had was priceless, and the world would be talking about this night for years to come. Taylor Swift wasn't used to being at a loss for words. Lyrics flowed easily. Melodies came naturally. But as she stood there on the deck of the yacht, looking into Travis Kelce's warm, steady eyes, she felt something she rarely did, completely and utterly overwhelmed. "You really just said that, huh?" she teased, her voice barely above a whisper. Travis chuckled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I meant it, Tay." She could tell. It wasn't just in his words, it was in everything. The way he had planned this night, the way he held her like she was the most important thing in the world, the way he had shown her a love that felt effortless, safe, real. "I love you too," she repeated, wanting him to feel every ounce of sincerity in those words. His smile widened, but then, in true Travis fashion, he couldn't resist breaking the moment with a joke. "Well, now that we've got that out of the way, should we celebrate with dessert? Because I don't know about you, but I've been waiting all night for cake." Taylor burst into laughter, her chest feeling lighter than it had in years. "You're impossible. And yet you love me." With a playful roll of her eyes, she took his hand and let him lead her back downstairs, where the final course of their evening awaited. A custom-made chocolate soufflé, Taylor's absolute favorite, sat in the center of the table, alongside a bottle of vintage champagne. But the true surprise wasn't the dessert itself. It was the small, handwritten note on the plate, written in Travis's unmistakable handwriting. "Here's to all the moments we haven't had yet." Taylor swallowed hard, feeling the weight of those words, because that was the most beautiful part of this night. It wasn't just about the grand gestures or the extravagant gifts. It was about this. A love that didn't need the world watching. A love that felt like home. She reached across the table, taking his hand in hers. "This is the best Valentine's Day I've ever had." Travis grinned. "Good, because next year I'm setting the bar even higher." And just when she thought the surprises were over, he proved her wrong, one last time. Taylor Swift leaned back in her chair, shaking her head in disbelief. The night had been perfect, romantic, intimate, full of meaning. She didn't think it could possibly get better. But then Travis Kelce leaned forward, that mischievous glint in his eyes appearing one last time. "Okay, so you know how I said I had one more surprise," he said casually, swirling his champagne. Taylor groaned playfully. "Travis, you've done enough." He grinned. "That's cute, but nope, not done." Before she could protest, he reached under the table and pulled out a sleek white envelope. Taylor's brows furrowed. "What is this? Just open it." She carefully tore open the envelope, her eyes widening as she pulled out 2 first-class plane tickets. "Paris?" she gasped, looking up at him in shock. Travis shrugged like it was no big deal. "You've been working non-stop. Thought you might need a little getaway before your tour kicks back up." Taylor stared at him, speechless. "We don't have to go if you don't want to," Travis added quickly, reading her expression. "But if you do, I figured we could take a few days, just us, no cameras, no schedules. Walk the streets, eat way too much bread, pretend we're normal people for a while." Taylor blinked, pressing her lips together to stop the overwhelming emotion from spilling over. "Travis," she finally said, "how do you keep doing this?" "Doing what?" he asked innocently. making me fall for you even more when I already thought I was at full capacity. His smirk softened into something pure, real, unshakable. "Because I know what I have," he said simply, "and I'm never taking it for granted." Taylor exhaled slowly, looking down at the tickets again, then back up at the man sitting across from her. "Paris, huh?" she mused, a smile playing at her lips. "Paris?" Taylor leaned forward, resting her chin on her hand. "You really are impossible." Travis smirked. "And yet you love me." She laughed, shaking her head. "Yes, Travis, I do." And with that, the most unforgettable Valentine's Day came to a close. But their next adventure was only just beginning. And just like that, Travis Kelce pulled off the ultimate Valentine's Day surprise for Taylor Swift. A night filled with love, surprises, and unforgettable moments. But something tells us this is just the beginning for these two. What do you think of Travis's grand gesture? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more exclusive stories on your favorite celebrities. Now, don't stop here. Click on one of the videos appearing on your screen for more incredible moments that will leave you speechless.